Hello, my Virgo besties. Welcome to your horoscopes for June. There is a lot happening this month, so I'm going to talk about the top 10 transits of the month, and at the end, I'm going to pull a card that gives some additional insight and some additional advice on how to handle the astrology or life during the month of June. Let's hop right in. There's a lot to talk about. So we're going to start Saturday, June 3rd. This is the full moon at 13 degrees Sagittarius, and this is a full moon in your fourth house. Let me pull up your chart. So your home life is under a spotlight of some kind with this full moon. The fourth house is about your foundation, your family, your security, your roots, your ancestors. And when a full moon lights up this house, emotions could definitely get a bit more intense. You've been dealing with some home issues, some family issues, and now it's reaching its culmination. It's reaching its peak with this full moon on June 3rd. So this is a great time to light a candle with the intention to release any old, unneeded stuff having to do with your family, unresolved stuff with people in your family, letting go of old family trauma issues. It's a moment of closure, basically, and it's definitely going to feel good, this moon. So a couple days later, we have Venus entering Leo. That is on Monday, June 5th, and we love Venus in Leo overall, but there is a little bit of an asterisk. We'll get there. First, let's talk about Venus entering Leo. It will be entering your 12th whole sign house, and so this is kind of a shift into more introspective and more spiritual energy. And Venus is all about love, beauty, connection, and the 12th house is like your private backstage area. So it's a time where also your dreams might be filled with lovely images, or your intuition might feel a bit more connected to the beauty of the world. So we like. It's also an aspect for long distance love or long distance relationships. But hold on. When Venus enters your 12th house, it immediately opposes Pluto in your 6th house. So this can definitely create some extra intensity, especially between the daily grind and the dreamier spiritual side of life. So balance these energies. That's the key. A couple days later, on Sunday, June 11th, we have two things happening. Mercury enters Gemini and Pluto retrogrades back into Capricorn. So first I'm going to talk about Pluto. And Pluto will be retrograding back into your 5th house. And this is familiar energy that you already are used to. And it provides a chance to revisit your creativity and what brings you joy and pleasure. It's Pluto brings transformative energy, and that means you could be reassessing what makes you happy, reassessing your sex life, reassessing romance, reassessing, again, your creativity or relationships with children. You might find yourself also revisiting old hobbies or reconnecting with people from your past. And this can definitely lead to a deeper understanding of your own spirit and your own creativity. This is the creative house. So the same day, we have Mercury entering Gemini, and this is super duper auspicious and good for the Virgos, especially the Virgo risings. This is your ruling planet moving into its home sign. So not only is it entering your home sign, but it's entering your 10th house, your 10th whole sign house of career and public reputation, the roles you take on. So overall, your job, your career, the roles you take on is getting a major power up. And you're definitely going to be in your element for the next couple weeks. It's a time where your communication at work or as an authority figure is really effective, and you might find that you're a lot more visible in your career in general. It's a great time to share ideas and to just in general make your mark. And this leads us into a couple days, 5 days later, we have the new moon at 26 degrees Gemini. That's on Saturday, June 17th. And so we love this new moon for y'all. This is a new moon that brings a fresh start to your career, to your public image. Again, the 10th house is all about the public self, what roles you take on, what you're known for doing. And the new moon is a chance to set intentions and start new projects with your career or what you want to be known for doing. It's a perfect moon to light a candle to set intentions around whatever career goals you have. It's a time of new beginnings and new potential for your public life. So we love this new moon for y'all. The same day, we have Saturn stationing retrograde in Pisces. So it's going to be quite an interesting one for y'all on Saturday, June 17th. You'll have to let me know what happens because we have something really, really good happening and then maybe a challenge. We have the new moon, which is really, really good, but then Saturn stationing at 7 degrees Pisces might bring a little bit of a challenge. Saturn is throwing it in reverse in your 7th whole sign house. And this is a house that's all about one-on-one time, relationships, partnerships, clients. Saturn is the strict teacher that we all had and avoided. And when it's going retrograde, you can definitely expect some lessons about relationships. So as Saturn changes direction, it definitely feels like the universe is hitting a pause button with relationship progress, but it's not a bad thing. It's a good chance to reevaluate, reassess, and, get to the bottom of things. All right, and then 4 days later, on Wednesday, June 21st, that is when Cancer season begins. And what does Cancer season have in store for the Virgos? This is a very social season for y'all. This is a season all about groups, all about friendships, all about internet friendships, all about a social network and connecting with friends. So when the sun is in Cancer, the Virgos are the life of the party. You'll connect with friends old and new. It's definitely a time where you will be shining in your social circles, and it's a great time to collaborate and to dream big with your besties, with your crew. We love Cancer season for y'all. It gets even more interesting too because a couple more days later, on Monday, June 26th, we have Mercury, your ruling planet, following suit and also entering Cancer. So Mercury will be sliding into your 11th whole sign house, joining the sun. And this is all about community. Again, this is a lot more busyness with your community, with your networks. You might find yourself a lot more chatty, sharing more ideas with friends, collaborating more, connecting with your network in more efficient ways. Your communication skills are going to be on fire and very, very intuitive, making it a very, very good time to make connections and build bridges. Okay, and the last day I'm going to talk about is on Friday, June 30th. We have two things happening. Neptune is stationing retrograde, and there's a Mercury cazimi. So this tells us that there's going to be some sort of foggy energy to the last week of June that might make you feel a little bit lost, a little bit confused on the downside. On the upside, it could make you a lot more creative, a lot more intuitive, a lot more in tune with the unseen parts of life. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel if you're feeling kind of confused and dissociated and lethargic. On Friday, June 30th, we have Neptune finally stationing, and we have the cazimi. So Neptune slowing down is what brings that fog, that confusion, that lethargy. But when it finally stops, we also have the cazimi. So it's like a finish line type moment. Neptune stationing retrograde in your 7th house is a time where you might get some reality checks in your relationships. It's a time to reassess what's real and what's just fantasy in partnerships and in one-on-one time with people. It's definitely a time for revelations where what was hidden once is coming to the surface. And at the same time, we have the Mercury cazimi in Cancer. So there's some sort of big social thing happening for you at the end of the month. The Mercury cazimi in your 11th whole sign house is a really nice blessing and also renewal for your social life and a renewal for you in general. This is like your phoenix moment where you burn up and then are rebirthed in the ashes. And for you as a Mercury ruled Virgo, this is a reset. It's a time where your ideas and the way that you communicate with people will shine a lot brighter than usual. And And you might find that you have the right words at the right time for this Cazimi, making it a very, very powerful moment for connections. I'm very curious to see how this plays out for y'all. But it's looking like some big shifts and renewals and good things happening socially for y'all. So those are the transits for the month. And now I'm going to pull your card. Okay, the 9 of Winter. Are you feeling anxious, my besties? This is a card about focusing on worst case scenarios. Not necessarily that they're going to happen, but that you are worrying about them, you're concerned about them. This is a card about unfounded fear. Whatever you're afraid of, I know this is like kind of invalidating. I don't want to invalidate your fears, but I also want to tell you what the card's saying. And the card says your fear is unfounded. So this is a card reminding you not to allow your worry to grow out of proportion of the problem. And I know Virgos are worry warts. So that is the other thing about Mercury doing stuff. Mercury in Gemini will be very productive for you, but also it could give you buzz brain, busy brain, ruminating, a little bit more anxious. So it's important you have that outlet, that mental outlet, that it's all, how do I word this? You have so much going on in your brain, it needs to be applied to something so that it's not idle and turn into paranoia or things that aren't, focusing on things that aren't real or aren't there. Your mental energy needs to be applied to something, and it will be very, very productive. All right, and that wraps up your horoscope for June. Thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more astrology goodness. If you are hungry for even more astrological insights, you can join my portal for exclusive weekly or monthly forecast and horoscopes. You can book a one-on-one consultation with me, or you can become a member of my wonderful Discord community. So check out the links in the description to get started, and take care, my friends. I will see you next time. Bye!